All right, let's get right into it. We're going to talk about something super interesting today, the psychology of people who just don't follow trends. We're going to unpack the actual science behind a mind that just naturally marches to its own beat.
So, does this sound familiar? A new viral challenge sweeps the internet, there's some new gadget everyone has to have, and you just feel nothing. If that's you, you're not alone, and believe it or not, there are some pretty powerful reasons why.
Yeah, it's that exact feeling. The whole world gets caught up in this big wave of excitement, and for you, it's just background noise. That feeling of indifference, it isn't a flaw. It's actually a feature of how your mind is wired.
So, let's clear something up. People might slap labels on this, right? Call you stubborn or out of touch, but psychology tells a totally different story. The reality is, it's a sign of being self-aware, independent, and really logical. Let's break down what that actually means. Okay, first up, it all starts with what we can call your internal compass. Think of it as your own personal navigation system that guides you, totally separate from what's popular at the moment.
And that compass, it's basically built on two really strong pillars. First, you run on internal validation. Your own opinion of yourself matters way more than what other people think. And second, you have a stable sense of who you are. You're not looking for a trend to define you. And this is the heart of it. Your confidence isn't powered by social media likes or getting attention. A lot of people are out there chasing that external approval to feel good, but your self-worth, it's generated from the inside. So trends, which are all about external validation, they just have no grip on you. What this really means is your identity is anchored. It's built on a solid foundation of your personal values, your beliefs, your interests. Stuff that lasts, not the fleeting, superficial thing of the week. So when a new trend pops up, it doesn't change who you are at your core. So why bother? So with an identity that solid, it doesn't just affect what you value, it completely changes how you think about things. And that brings us to our next big idea, thinking independently. This is a huge cognitive switch. For most people, the first question is a social one. Is everyone else doing this? But for you, the first filter is always logical. Does this actually have any merit? Is it useful? Do I care? You're not just accepting things, you're analyzing them on your own terms. This way of thinking really boils down to two key habits. For one, you evaluate everything logically, kind of putting a puzzle pieces together for yourself. And because of that, you almost always value what something does, its function, way more than its superficial image. I mean, just look at the difference here. It's night and day. Trend followers are often chasing appearance, that quick hit of attention. But the independent mind is asking completely different questions. Is this useful? Does it add real value to my life? It's a mindset that's built for the long haul, not for short-term applause. Okay, so you've got an internal compass, and you think for yourself. When you put those two things together, you get our third, and maybe the most powerful trait of all, a natural immunity to social pressure. There's actually a technical term for what drives most trends. It's called normative social influence. And all that is that deep down fear of being left out, that intense pressure to conform just so you fit in. For most people, this is a massive force. But not for you. And this is what really sets you apart. You just aren't bothered by being out of sync with what everyone else is doing. It doesn't give you anxiety, it just feels normal. Honestly, that tolerance is kind of a psychological superpower. And there's another cool layer to this. Whether you realize it or not, by ignoring trends, you're actually protecting your mental energy. I mean, think about it. Keeping up with every popular new thing takes a ton of brain power. You instinctively save that energy for things that you actually care about. So let's pull all this together. We've talked about your internal compass, your independent thinking, and your immunity to pressure. The big takeaway here is really simple, but it's powerful. Your mind is your greatest strength. And if you hear one thing from this whole explainer, please let it be this. That tendency you have to go your own way, it is absolutely not a flaw. It's not something you need to fix. In fact, it's the clearest sign there is of a strong, well-developed, independent mind. It proves that you trust yourself, you think for yourself, and you know how to navigate the world using your own map. So at the end of the day, you're not missing out on anything. You've just built up a natural immunity to all the distracting noise of what's popular for 5 minutes. It's like you're tuned to a different, clearer frequency. And that really leaves us with one final big question to think about. In a world that is getting louder and more distracting every single day, what incredible things can you build or create or solve with a mind that is already immune to all that noise?